Hello, Gemini. Welcome to your Harvest Moon love reading. I will shift into warp speed, shuffle, and lay out your cards. You're welcome to watch, or you can skip ahead straight to the reading. Either way, I will see you on the other side. Hello, Gemini. Let us get started. Right at the top here, this is representative of your past or present. Either way, this is energy you're moving out of. So you have 10. The element of 10, the metal 10 is, it's obviously a metal, but it's very malleable. It conforms, right, to whatever it is. You could mold it into anything. It's also fairly weak as a metal. So you may have spent your past, or you might be in this energy right now where you're feeling like a conformist, like you're conforming to whatever. It's very Gemini energy, and it's not bad, but as we pull cards, we'll see, how this made you feel. It's not quite as colorful, right? You do have some here, but this is the sign of the conformist, the contortionist, the chameleon, right? The person who's able to shape themselves, the shapeshifter. And you have right under that, you have the Four of Cups, poorly aspected, right? So on this side, you have somebody who, it looks very pretty. They have a cup, they're lit up, it's beautiful, it's probably filled. Yeah, this cup's cracked, it's not very nice. That's the side that you got. You're coming out of or involved in a love situation that is not very good. I don't know how it got that way, but it isn't. And so you have here, you have the Nine of Wands, right? And the Nine of Wands here is like being prepared, right? But on this side, he's not prepared. He's looking in the other direction, and he's not even holding his wand. So it's lack of preparation for something. And you have the Devil, right? The Devil could represent Capricorn. It could represent an addiction that you have or had. It could represent a mindset, and it could go along with this 10 where you felt. These are dark cards, right? They're not terribly dark, they're not ridiculously dark, but they're not, it doesn't look like this energy was a happy energy for you, or is a happy energy for you. It's very non-Gemini, honestly. So in the center of the reading, the overall vibe is the World, and the World is closing out a cycle. So maybe Spirit is telling you need to close out a cycle. Maybe you have closed out a cycle. Maybe you're thinking about it. So let's move on to this. You have the Sun. You go from 10 to the Sun. It looks like you have, all kinds of wonderful things here in this energy. The Sun is obviously a really good omen. It's very happy. It's very colorful. It's very rich. You're going from this to this. You might have a problem hanging on to money, or in this case, maybe hanging on to a person or a situation. You see, like, this would be the Two of Pentacles, trying to juggle, being successful at it. On this side, not so much, right? So whatever it is you're trying to juggle isn't very successful, and it's creating a reason not to move forward, right? Or it's giving you an inability to move forward. You do have some, this could be competitiveness. This could be banter. I think it is banter, to be honest with you, because if this was fighting, I think it would look more like that. It's sort of a banter, but it does lead into this Ten of Cups energy, right? This could be someone new you're meeting, or we're going to pull on this. This could be someone new, or it absolutely could be resurrection of this relationship, right? It could be. Let's see. I'm going to pull from the vice versa deck and get an idea of what's going on here. So, show me the Four of Cups, please. Show me the Four of Cups. Show me the Four of Cups. Right. So this was a situation that you had planned, and you had planned, your plans for this situation were positive. You wanted something good. It didn't turn out that way, but that's really what you wanted when you started this relationship. The Nine of Wands. Yeah. So it looks like here, it looks like someone, you're not looking at each other. Right? Your backs are basically to each other. This very well might be a situation where you were at odds with someone. The Devil. Show me the Devil, please. Okay, so you have the Empress here. The Devil, this could be someone that you had children with. Someone who you had a family with. Someone who you wanted to have a family with. It turned into some sort of a situation. It could have been a very controlling situation, a toxic situation, something that wasn't good for, definitely wasn't good for you. But you once viewed this person as your family or your future, right? Show me this Two of Pentacles, please. Show me this Two of Pentacles. Yeah, I mean, you have, look, you may be at a crossroads here, right? You may not know what to do. I mean, he looks very confused. You may not know what to do with all this. Apparently you can't do what you've been doing because it's not working. You're not able to do it, right? So when we look at the Chariot and we see that it's reversed, yeah, it's, wow, okay. So you have an inability to move forward or be fruitful. You have a false victory. You know, it could be a victory of sorts, right? But it doesn't look like it was easy. And it's a dark card, and it is followed by the Death card. So between the Death card and the World, it definitely looks like you're closing out a cycle with someone, and you're trying to move on to something better or different, for sure. Yeah, show me this Ten of Cups, please. Yeah, you have the Strength card here. The only thing that I am going to warn you about here, right? You might have an opportunity to you know, have a brand new start here. The only thing I'm going to warn you about are repeating patterns. You might want to look at your life or your relationships, because I know I've done that recently. I've taken stock, okay? You might want to look at your relationships in your life and say, okay, what patterns do I notice? And you don't have to share this with anyone, right? You could just do this with yourself. What patterns do I notice? Where do they stem from? What does it mean? And Geminis are very logical people, mostly. You could write down on paper what you notice about your patterns What did they have in common? What were their complaints about you? What were your complaints about them? And figure out, because whatever it is, even if you are meeting someone else, for some of you, it looks like you are, you don't want another pattern to emerge. You want it to be as nice as it is in the beginning, right? You have to guard against, so like this page is normally, you know, holding a cup. It's an innocent, beautiful, sort of light-hearted thing. But on the back here, you don't see his face. There is something hidden behind him. He's cloaked. There might be a side of you that you keep hidden, or you might be attracting people like that. Honestly, you might be attracting that. Either way, you have to fix you, right? So when I look back on my life and I say, okay, I have attracted, you know, the same type of bad person. I really have. Like, since, you know, it was like a domino effect, and I was stuck in a pattern, and I turn to myself and say, okay, what does that say about me? What's wrong with me? Because I'm obviously attracting this. And so if you step back and you really do that work about why you're attracting certain elements into your life, you'll come out the other side wiser and able to start a brand new pattern, positive pattern, not a negative pattern. Close out a cycle and really step into a new power. Because when I look at this world, you know, look, she has it all, right? The he and she, they have it all. This is a card of abundance. And I pulled this to go with the World card. So, yeah, you have the ability to create emotional abundance for yourself. As long as you pick out the patterns that apply to you. I'm going to pull a couple of these love oracles for your past. You show me Gemini's past/present. You might have felt a magnetic attraction to this person, or that might be a pattern for you, feeling this super attraction. One more card for the past, please, or /present. Too many cards. One more card for the past/present, please. Fear. Suspicion. So the person that you were dealing with could have been very suspicious of you, or likewise, you could be a very suspicious person. When you feel this attraction, it might graduate to that. So show me what Gemini is moving towards, please. What is Gemini moving towards? Something with social media. It could be somebody on the internet that you are attracting or attracted to. You're definitely at a crossroads here, for sure. There's just no doubt, right? And at the bottom of the deck, we have read between the lines. You have to figure this out. You have to figure out why you're stuck in a certain pattern. It does take a little bit of work, but once you do that, it's so much better to have this knowledge than to not. If you're attracting loser after loser. So this is the storyteller. This could be you or somebody that you have dealt with. Somebody who lies and makes up stories about, it takes the truth and turns it into a story. That's not true. You have Messiah, exaggerated belief that you are the only means through which. All right, so yeah, looking at yourself like the only person, you know, I have to look at this card within the realm of the reading, right? And you might be looking for that thing or that person that stands out to a degree, to the point where it's magnetic and it stays that way, and they save you. And when I say that, I don't necessarily mean financially or anything like that. You want to be, there might be some of you out there that want to be saved. There's this Messiah thing going on, or maybe you have that complex with other people. But you have to ask yourself, am I the storyteller, or am I attracting storytellers? There is definitely something going on that isn't true, right? And before you start feeling this magnetic attraction towards someone, you may want to make sure that they're not full of crap. If you are attracted to someone and you're full of crap, that relationship is going to be built on ice cream sticks instead of cement, right? So it's going to come down after a while. It's going to be a very weak connection, even though it may feel very strong. It's not. So yeah, you're being guided. And I really think you're being guided through this reading to take stock of yourself, take stock of your life, take stock of your patterns, and change the trajectory here, so you can start a new, so you can definitely start a new path here. Well, you do have the rainbow, you do have the whale, right? So you may, the past may have been filled with worries, a lot of worries, and especially according to some of the cards. I don't want to start digging through them, but you might have had a lot of worries. You might have been a very nervous person about stuff that was going on in your past/present. Your future does have the rainbow. So, and at the bottom of the deck, what do we have? We have Bat. It says enemies are working against you, but I'm thinking that you are your greatest enemy. You are your enemy. And, you know, I'm not saying that in an accusatory way, because I feel like it's the same for me. I'm not a Gemini, but I feel like I was my own worst enemy, making certain choices for myself. You know, picking broken men, right? You might be picking broken people. You yourself might be broken. I don't know. But you might be your own worst enemy in either case, okay? It's time to pick yourself up by the bootstraps. Slip out. Don't fall into a pattern. I don't know where that... Oh, here it is. Don't fall into a pattern like that. Stay strong on your own. And when I say on your own, I don't mean you have to be alone, but you need to be alone for a little while so you can figure out what happened, and so it doesn't happen again, right? But overall, this is a good vibe. Overall, it looks like you are moving into something more positive, for sure. You've been through some crap, for sure, and you're slowly moving out of it, and you're moving into an abundance situation. So with the world here, just make sure your next world is a world free of patterns, and just make it choices that you choose instead of things that you feel magnetically drawn to. Try to use that brain of yours to help you, instead of just going with your initial reaction with someone. So I hope this helped. Happy full moon, Gemini.